Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. This evening, we have a special guest. We have Miss Donna Warren from Freeport, Illinois. All right, you're on the air.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brother Barbie, for this opportunity. I am Donna V. Werner, and I am the founder and executive director of Dorcas Destiny International. We are in our 8th year of providing tangible support services to children and women in Kenya, East Africa. This Sunday, and I know, these kind of things are time sensitive and you're not supposed to do dates, but I will. This Sunday, February 15th, 2026, will launch my 19th trip to the country of Kenya, East Africa. And depending on when your audience hears or sees this, I would have completed that trip and 2 others in summer 2026. The next trip being July 16th through 30th and another in early September 2026. So if I had to give this talk a title, it would be something like Championing Change, Dorcas Destiny International in Kenya. We help children and women in extreme poverty, and why do global missions matter? So if you hadn't thought about it, global poverty affects millions of children and women. And a lot of people are looking for ways to inspire their young people to greatness. So if you look at youth empowerment and leadership development, missions work can inspire purpose in young people, whether that's local missions or global missions, and it can create global-minded leaders and servants. So when you look at missions, missions equals practical action plus compassion plus empowerment. And whether you are a faith-based individual or you're just a person that likes to do good things for people, both of those types of people are welcome to go on global missions or to participate in missions. Because we work predominantly in Kenya, I would like to give you a few key points on poverty in Kenya. So 40% of Kenyans live in poverty. That's 20 million people, because the latest numbers, and even in early 2026, it's about 60 million people in Kenya. So about 40% of those Kenyans live in poverty. 53% of them experience multi-dimensional education, health, housing, and multi-generational poverty. In the communities that we work in, you'll see mother, grandmother, and young children all living in very extreme slums and those types of situations that are quite desperate. In rural areas, you'll see that there's 38% of the people who are in poverty versus people who are in urban communities, 26% there. 42% of children live in poverty. 33% are food insecure, meaning that 33% of children in Kenya do not know where their next meal is coming from. When you look at women and poverty in Kenya, female-headed households have higher poverty rates, about 35%. Women in rural areas face compounded challenges because they're not near urban centers where there would be opportunities for even part-time or temporary employment. There's vulnerability to lack of education. When you look at a woman who has her monthly cycle, a young girl who has her monthly cycle, those kind of things can keep girls and youth from going to school. So that makes them vulnerable to completing an education, which then domino effect, income, low income, healthcare challenges, and so on. And in Kenya, they don't have the same kind of societal safety nets like food stamps and homeless shelters and those kind of things that we have here in the US. When you look at children, another layer of that is in the country of Kenya, children are in prison with their mothers nationally. So if you have a child under the age of 4 and you are a female, your young children may be with you in prison. And across the country, about 200 to 300 children nationally live in prisons with their mothers. Most mothers are single, incarcerated for minor or poverty-related offenses, such as prostitution, stealing, those kind of things. And as you might imagine, no prison is a child-friendly environment. The largest prison in Kenya is called Langata, and that's one of the places that we visit. It's the largest women's facility. There is an estimated 39 to 105 children with their mothers in both remand, which is their pretrial detention, and for those ladies who are actively serving their sentences. So depending on which of those sections of people you look at, up to 105 children are in prison with their mothers. In Langata, which again is the largest women's prison, it's maximum security. There is nursery care and child care available, but obviously the resources are limited because these are people who are incarcerated. And because of that, the overcrowding and limited early childhood stimulation is small for these young children. If there's no space in the child care center for those children, they're just walking around while their mothers are doing chores or whatever it is they're doing. So to kind of get a little bit into what we do with Dorcas Destiny International, when we visit Kenya, we go to Langata Women's Prison and we go visit, we take feminine hygiene products and toilet tissue, one of the things that we take for granted, toilet tissue. We take those things to the women in prison, and we also take biscuits and milk for the children. So those children who are walking around in there, we'll give them milk and biscuits because that's one of the things that they find as a treat. There are a couple of other prisons that we have visited while in Kenya. One is in Migori County. That's a women's prison. And our first women's prison that we visited was in a town called Eldoret. And those same conditions exist because this is a national thing. That's a national law where children under the age of 4 stay with their mothers. And then under the age of 4, so then one of the questions you may be asking is, what happens at age 5? So that's something that is kind of a cliffhanger because you can imagine what might happen. And because these some of the smaller facilities have resource challenges just like the big ones, but then those smaller facilities like Migori County, like Eldoret, have even bigger issues. So what does Dorcas Destiny International do about these things that I've mentioned? And these are just a few things that plague the country overall. So as I mentioned at the beginning, since June 2017, we have been feeding children. We launched our daily school lunch and morning forage programs for over 600 school children. We've been feeding kids in school for about 4 years straight. And that was the time that we were able to launch our daily meal program, because prior to that, it was kind of hit and miss. You know, we were in our 8th year, so it took a while for us to gain and garner support. So for about 4 years now, we've been providing meals for over 600 school children in 4 schools. We also have an educational enrichment program that provides extracurricular activities and games and arts and crafts and all those kind of things for young children in the 4 schools that we help. And one of the schools in the village also has a chess club that is sponsored by Fun with Chess, which is a nonprofit organization in Chicago, Illinois. So we feel very fondly about that, the person who was able to help us start that program, and the kids have been having a great time learning chess in the village. Dorcas Destiny International also has a child sponsorship program and high school scholarships available. And that's for the type of person that would really want to be tied to a certain child and not just, provide support or assistance across the board. We have social services and crisis intervention as identified by our social worker. We have a full-time social worker that is in Kenya who knows the families. She stays in touch with the families. She visits the families. She visits the schools. So she is very intimately involved in what's going on in those households. And because of that, we're able to provide some of the assistance and support that we might not know about if we didn't have that kind of relationship. We have dabbled in business and vocational training for women. And we've also given financial support to widows with small farms in a rural village. Our core flagship program is the school lunch or the meal program. So when I say we've dabbled in business and vocational training, we've had a small successes with those kind of things, but that's the kind of thing that we would need a different level of partnership to help further. But we do have a lot of women who are interested in having a small business. So if anybody listening or watching would like to participate, please reach out. The other thing that Dorcas Destiny International provides is spiritual and emotional support. Well, one of my board members is a former pastor, and he does a weekly Zoom Bible fellowship for Kenyan pastors. As many of the people that we know in Kenya are Christians and or pastors, ministry leaders, and that kind of thing, even though that's not the only kind of people that we serve. But it just so happens that my friend who I first met in Kenya, he's a pastor. So as a result, we've found relationships with other pastors as well. So that's one of the things we also provide, is that spiritual and emotional support. via the weekly Zoom fellowships.
Just a moment. I want to
Sure.
get back to you as it pertains to your entrepreneur program. I
Mhm.
just want you to keep that in mind.
Okay,
Okay.
very good. We can come back to that.
Yes.
And the other thing that we do, as I mentioned, we visit the country because it was always my goal to two things. One goal for me, and one thing that was very important from the very beginning, is number one, to not just work with the children, but also to work with the adults, which is why we've dabbled in the business and vocational training. And the other thing is for us to have relationships with the people that we serve. I never just wanted to be the person that sent money over. I don't want to do that. I want them to know me. I want me to know them. We're working with children. I want to see them grow up. I want to be able to cast vision to them and just tell them how well they're doing in school and get a hug from them and those kind of things. So we visit the country because we do want to deepen and enhance those relationships, which is why I've had so many trips over and why we invite other people to come and go with us. So in that, we're providing on-site opportunities for people to experience life as our beneficiaries do, because like myself, I had traveled out of the country to various places on several continents, but I never traveled as a missionary. I always traveled as a tourist. So as a missionary, you're getting to see who the people are and how the people really live. When you travel as a tourist, even if you drive through the places or you drive past the places where the people live, it's not the same kind of experience for being in those communities for multiple days at a time. So that's something that we allow people to do. And we do focus on children and women because we want to break those cycles of poverty. And it's important because, women are the ones who generally, even here in the US, spend most of the time with the children. So it's so important for us to work with both. Now, when you talk about missions, why should Christians care and why should Black Americans care? Well, for Christians, it's a faith-based concept. So, for those of you familiar with the Holy Bible, in the book of Matthew, chapter 25, between verses 32 to 35, Jesus says that what you did or didn't do for others is the same thing that you did or didn't do for him. And talks about the things like, visiting in prison and feeding and putting clothes on their feet and those kind of things. Putting shoes on their feet, clothes on their back. But when we do it or don't do it for others, we're not doing it or doing it for him. Jesus also said in Matthew 28, 18 through 20, that he would be with us as we go into all the world and we make disciples. So you can't go into all the world without going into all the world. And for those who are Black Americans, there's that cultural connection. We have a shared heritage with Africa. And whether like I did my ancestry DNA, Kenya's East Africa, most of my DNA is Central and West Africa, but it's still soil that speaks to my ancestors and our ancestors. So you do have that cultural connection when you visit Africa. And it's also an opportunity to empower communities and make an eternal and practical impact by being in relationship and communication with these families. So serving children and women has a very strategic impact because children are obviously the future and women can be the backbone of the communities because they are the ones spending most of the time with the children and casting that kind of home vision for them. And the missions work also helps to create programs that provide sustainable change across generations. Dorcas Destiny International, we focus on food, education, skills, relationship, and hope, as I have mentioned. So a few frequently asked questions or common concerns. Probably the biggest one is, well, why do you have to go all the way over there to help? We have needs right here at home in the US. That is absolutely true. We do have needs here at home, but local and global missions can coexist. You can do something here in your local community, which I have. I have worked in homeless services in Chicago. I worked in homeless services in New York City. And I can tell you, homeless services here it doesn't even touch what is the case in Africa when you look at some of the communities that we go into. So, like I said before, over there, they don't have those social safety nets. And you can look at a person here who's homeless in the US, they can find somewhere to sleep, They can have a cell phone. They can get money. They can do certain things, and they have access to things that people in Kenya do not. Then we have the other people who have a common concern, or they just say, "Well, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Kenya." I had a lady tell me that just recently. I don't have a desire to go. Okay, well, that's fine, but you can help somebody else go. And if you are one who wants to serve, that obedience and that practical participation matter. So even if you don't want to go to Kenya, you can go across town and you can help give somebody a sandwich who may need some food. Another very common concern is, well, I don't have money. I can't go. Okay, well, great. We have opportunities for those who want to go with us to do fundraising. So you can fundraise for your whole trip. We've had dozens of people do just that. So we can help you do fundraising. You can collect your own donations. You can do whatever it is you need to do to be able to go. I think of all the people that have gone with us, we probably had 4 that did not have to fundraise. But if you're a Christian, again, you would believe and you can believe that God would provide the needs for you to go. And for those who are non-Christians, participation is possible through volunteering, advocacy, and support. Now, how can you champion Dorcas Destiny International? Again, if you're a Christian, you can pray. And if you're not a Christian and you don't pray, you can have positive intentions. You can speak positively about what we do. You can give. You can sponsor a child. You can sponsor a program. You can volunteer locally, because we are actually starting an initiative here in Freeport to help young people here in this community. Or you can participate on a fundraising committee to help us raise money to do what it is we need to do. You can help someone else go on a trip. One of my second trip to Kenya, my brother paid for his daughter, my niece, to go with me to Kenya because he couldn't go, but he paid for her to go. And for the next 5 years, she was my right-hand person. And it really placed a desire for missions and Kenya and those communities in her heart. And that was because my brother sent her. You can advocate for us and share some of what you've heard today. I know when I first heard about women and children being in prison together, that was something that was a what? What did you say? What do you mean women and children in prison together? That was something I've never heard of. And I know that I've also heard since then that Kenya's not the only place that does that, but we don't do it here. So you can share that kind of information. And you can certainly follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. You can invite us to an event. I'm here in Northwestern Illinois, several hours for me to get into Chicago. I'm close to Iowa, Wisconsin. And there's Zoom, just like we're doing a Zoom now. You can invite me to your event via Zoom. And we are especially interested in getting churches involved in what we're doing, because I have a strong belief that there are many churches that want to get involved in global missions, but they don't know how, they don't know the who, they don't know the where. Well, as you've heard me say several times now, they can go with us to Kenya and they can see exactly who they're serving. And you can help us create partnerships and sponsorships, and you can volunteer to be on a committee. We are creating a fundraising committee. We do have a board of directors, obviously, and we are organizing a formal prayer team. And we need an advisory committee of professionals. So there are many, many ways that people can get involved with us. Before I get to the end, I would like to turn it back over to you, Brother Barbie, because you said to remember about business and entrepreneurship. So let me let you insert your question or comment there.
Sure. One of the things I do like Kenya. I have a love for Kenya and all that stuff. I even have some Kenyans I would say native Kenyans to come on this platform before.
Yeah, I saw
I just
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you this. I hear the largest, I hate to say the word, slum in Kenya starts with a K.
Kibera.
Yes, yes. Have you
Yes.
been there too?
We have a friend, Pastor Vitalis, who his home and his ministry is in Kibera. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
Been there
asking.
several times.
I'm just asking. Now, my organization is similar to what you're talking about, but
Hmm.
yeah, and Kenya is one of the African countries that I would like to actually visit. Not only visit, but also set up my Christian business there. That's
We
yeah.
should be talking about that.
Yes. I definitely and after this podcast, I would like to talk with you, for a little bit, please.
That would be great. I would like
Because I
that.
definitely I'm grateful first and foremost that you have came on this platform. That makes me really happy because I want to use my platform to be a blessing to others too, not just myself.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
Now I know you don't know
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, I know you don't know much about me, but we are friends on LinkedIn, and I'm grateful
Hmm.
that you decided to come on my platform. But I'm gonna just share this a little bit with you, and
Sure.
also some people that probably haven't came across my platform. Um, this is what I sell. The name of my book is called The Solution for Black America: Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America. Second edition. I have it available in two forms. I have it available as an ebook for $9.99. And also what I'm holding right now, the softcover book for $15 plus shipping and handling. And I'm going to have the link in the comment section below this video podcast. So that way you all can purchase my book. But when you purchase my book, I want you to read the whole book. And if you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, then you will automatically become a GERCAM member. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to recruit brave and smart, like minded Black Americans, brave and smart, like minded African immigrants here in America. Because the Lord Jesus slash Joshua called me to build the best African American business or Black business within the United States of America, and that is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. We want to get it popping here in Chicago first before we expand it to 10 African nations. And but I'm having a lot of pushback. A lot of people I run across, they say it sounds like a scam. Selling a book is not a scam. So first and
Mm-mm.
foremost, I'm not asking for any donations. I want people to read my story first and foremost. Those that agree with my vision and plan, I would like for you to work with me. Um, Gurkaya, Chicago, our mission is to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, spiritual development, as well as hosting African tours. So um, I want African immigrants to be involved with this because first, Black Americans that become members of this business will heal from that colonized mindset. That's very important because that's one of my biggest problems that I face when I come across quote unquote other Black Americans is that a negative mindset. Oh, that sounds like a scam or just all kinds of negativity. I'm trying to, we're going to build this, I'm going to say from the mud. That means from the bottom, from the ground up, basically. And so that's one part of it. The second part is I want to turn this book into a film, and that's important. I'm trying to raise $250,000 to make a quote unquote low budget, but it's going to be Black empowerment film.
Mm.
So that way people can, is the film, the docudrama is based on my life experience. The title of the film is Hood Liberator, Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins.
Mm.
And that's based on
Wow.
my personal experience growing up in a very dysfunctional household, being
Mm.
abandoned by my extended family members, being placed in foster care. Again,
Mm.
I didn't have no choice. I was a
Right.
child at that time, but
Hmm.
I want to use all of my, I want to say, strength and energy, anger, all that kind of stuff for something positive. I want to give back. back to the community that I came from. We're gonna get this business popping first on the west side of Chicago. We're going to serve Austin, um, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale, and eventually on the south side of Chicago because I want to make Chicago a model first. And then I'm going to turn the business over to my management team. And then I am going to South Africa to get it popping there.
Nice.
Yes. So anyway, as it pertains to Kenya, do you know of I've been trying to find Kenyan communities here in, Illinois. I'm just asking you that question.
I have not actually looked for a Kenyan community in Illinois. I know there are random Kenyans here and there, as I have a friend who does a lot of traveling, and it seems like every time she goes somewhere, she finds a Kenyan, and she sends them to me. And
Yeah.
I've connected with some of those people who have families still in Kenya.
Gotcha.
So as we talk to other people and as we share, that's part of the sharing and the advocacy, we find out that there are many people who are in the communities that we're looking for.
Well, if you find, I'm just asking you up front though,
Mhm.
please connect me with African or yeah, African immigrants from Kenya that's part of your organization that lives here in America because I want them to work with me because we want to. For me in my business, we want to get this business popping here in Chicago first in
Mm.
terms of for credibility. So when I do come to Africa, I want to bring economic tangibles to GRCAM members.
Right, right.
That's
Yeah,
all
I'm
I'm
happy
saying.
to introduce you to the people I know.
And I'm interested in your business as well. You're over there, so you have a foot on the
Yeah,
continent. I want to
yeah.
get there, but I want to first get my business popping here in Chicago for credibility
Mm,
because right
mm-hmm,
now I do have a nonprofit,
mm-hmm,
but I'm dependent on my book, and my book is barely selling. That's
mm.
unfortunate. I mean, I can't make people buy the book, but hey, it's out there. I have a virtual
Right.
store. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And a lot
Yeah.
of people don't want to buy any items from my virtual store. So, and then my bank, they're trying to, I would say in a night, they kind of pushing me about taking out a business loan. And I'm not trying to
Mm.
hear that right now because I'm paying
I
out of pocket.
understand.
Yeah, I'm paying out of pocket for this 501(c)(3). I pay the
Mm-hmm.
state and the IRS every year. And I've been
Yeah.
doing this since 2010. And
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
still,
longer than
yeah,
me
and,
then.
and I'm still on first base.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I want to have brick and mortar, a physical building, so people can know that this is real. Because right now it's only my business only exists online.
I
So
hear you, and one of and like
that's how come I want to talk, business with you, once we're finished with
sure.
this podcast. But all I'm trying to say in a nutshell to my listeners and everybody, there's no scams over here. You buy my book, you get my book. My book is on Amazon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Again, I want people to read my story. Don't just buy the book. That's nice that you buy the book, but read my story for yourself so you can become a GRCAM member and help me and Sister Renee get this business popping here in the city of Chicago because our Black youth need that. They're being
Mm-hmm.
slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say help stop the genocide in American ghettos, starting here in the city of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want to do is we want to work with those broken families,
Yeah.
that's in the inner cities. But
Mm-hmm.
in my business, the way I operate, I know a lot of people don't like it, but this is what Jesus/Joshua called me to do. We want to raise the bar. So we want to separate ourselves from con artists, hardened
Yes.
criminals,
Yep.
pedophiles,
Mm-hmm.
degenerates, urban terrorists. I don't want those type of people in my business. So everybody's going to be vetted and screened.
Very good. That's
Everybody's going to
very
have to
good.
sign. Yes, everybody's going to have to sign a community pledge that that they agree with the vision and blah blah blah. Pass our criminal background checks and have the
Mm-hmm.
thumbprint placed in our database so that way we can keep tabs on who's doing what in the business. My
That's
business
good.
is that my business is twofold. Part of it is going to be a nonprofit. Like I was saying, we are going to help. I'm gonna just say the single black mothers, single black fathers, um, and we're gonna have childcare, all that stuff, but and have a food pantry, for people that's
Mm,
struggling. And we're going to help try to assist them with, I would say, their utility bills based
mm,
on our budget and sponsorship. Now, our
right.
for-profit business, this is where I'm going to make my money, my bread and butter,
Hmm.
and we're going to own and control our community grocery store, community healthcare clinic, and community housing. So
Nice.
that way we don't have to sit up here and be, like begging for donations. But anyway,
Hmm.
that's my business. It's going to be part of it is a for-profit business, and the other part is the nonprofit. But bottom line, it's going to be membership based, and it's not going to be for everybody. It's going to be for those that want more out of life. Bottom line,
That's good. That's good.
yes. And I want to replicate the business on the African continent. That's why I want to have African immigrants involved, not just from Kenya, but other African nations such as,
Hmm.
South Africa, East Africa. I would say um, Tanzania, Uganda,
Yep.
um,
That we have people in Uganda as well, because yep,
Ethiopia.
that
So we're
all
going to
borders
hit that, and
around
then
Kenya.
eventually in West Africa, but hopefully in God's timing throughout the
Hmm.
whole Sahara Africa.
Nice.
But I'm just saying I want to get it popping here with African immigrants involved to help us build this thing so that way we can replicate it and it could be beneficial for both Black Americans and African immigrants. And then when we bring it over to the African continent, be able to help my members, that's Gurkhan members, to have dual citizenship
Okay.
in those countries for our talent. We're going to exchange our talents in exchange for dual citizenship to help improve the African economy.
Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
but I've been pushing this for the past 34 years and I'm still
Mm,
on first base, and that's unacceptable. This is how come
I
I
hear
created
you.
my platform.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is how
Yeah.
come I created this platform. And I want people to work with me while I'm alive. Don't wait until I'm dead.
Right.
You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying?
I understand that for sure.
Yeah, because I'm sick and
Hmm.
tired of being stagnant. It's not my fault that people don't, the white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my book. The
That's right.
white man
That's
is not,
right.
yes, the white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying items from my virtual store. The white
Nope.
man is not stopping Black Americans from donating to the film project. That's a personal choice, and that's that
Right.
slave mentality that
It's
says,
yeah.
I do not
Yeah.
want to see Emmanuel Barbie have a successful Black Christian business. And that's a
That's
doggone
terrible.
shame. And
That's
that's how come
terrible.
I created this platform. And that's how come,
Mm.
I'm going to do the best that I can to get this film project fully funded and made. So that way I can move this thing from behind the computer. And we're going to bring this business to the devil's stronghold, the Black ghettos, to help turn
Mm.
around those situations.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
That's
That's what
good.
I'm trying to
That's
do.
good. I
Yeah. And
hear
that's
you.
real.
I hear you.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you, do you have any specific questions you'd like to ask me, please?
So I would like to know how did you get started? Because you're obviously very passionate about your what you're saying. Were you born and raised in Chicago?
Yes, I have. Yes,
Okay, so I bet
yes,
you've
I
seen a
am.
lot.
And this is what this book is about. It's about my experience. It's also about our experience as Black Americans, our past, present, and future. Because this
Mm,
business is for Black Americans, but those that's gonna want to be a part of the solution. Like I said,
right.
we want to separate ourselves from those con artists, those people that
Hmm.
don't have any ambition. It's not our fault that they don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's to help
Hmm.
save our youth from being, um, being driven to be a thug or want to be a hardened criminal. Ain't nothing good about
Yeah,
that. That's a sellout. That's not helping
that's right.
out the racial group. That's making us look bad and putting a target on our back so road cops can kill more of us.
Hmm.
So
Something.
something. What else you'd like to ask me since the time is almost up?
Well,
You
how
can
what
ask
do
me
we
something.
where do we go from here?
Like I say, I would love to discuss trying to do business with you. My business right now, like I say, it's not materialized yet.
Mm,
Only thing I have is my revised book. I appreciate if when you get an opportunity for you to read my story, and then
absolutely.
that way
I
that gives
will.
you a better idea if you want to do business with me or not.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Everything that's in this book, this is real. And I stand on this 10 toes down.
Mm,
I ain't gonna let no man or woman on earth change that vision that my creator has given me. And that's
that's
real.
right. That's it.
I ain't bugging
Jeremiah
on
1:5.
also, I want to say that non-black sympathizers, they're welcome to join us over here in this business, but not as groups, but as individuals.
Mm,
And I want to know, how do they feel? They got to say it publicly as it pertains to lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves. If they agree
mhm,
with that, then they could be a part of us. Those that disagree, I don't want them to be a part of this. So
mm.
I'm just saying, non-black sympathizers, they can be a part of us. But
That's good. You have your standards.
in my business over here, we're in one, we're melanated first, and our focus is on solving black issues point blank. Nothing else on earth matters. So that's
Mm,
what we do up in this business.
that's good. That's
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Well, I certainly appreciate the opportunity to have been on tonight and spend this time with you. And hope that those who are watching and listening will look us up, Dorcas Destiny International. Our hashtag is DDI for Kenya. And look for us on social media and come go with us to Kenya sometime soon.
Oh, yes, I'd love to be able to do that big time. They say I have less than a minute, so anything else you want to say?
That's it. Yeah, just hashtag DDI for Kenya. Come join us on a mission trip. DorcasDestinyINTL.org is our website. And my name is Donna B. Werner, founder and executive director
Yeah,
since June 2017.
I'm proud of you, sister. I'm very proud of you. And I
There
would love to